everybody, welcome back. So today I wanted to discuss, is CE-5 for real? And CE-5 stands for Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. This is a term that was dubbed by Dr. Stephen Greer. That is a concise and particular way to describe a human-initiated contact with UFO intelligence. So this is just one way for people, or that people have used to interact with UFOs over the years. Of course, CE-5 is very specific and has a protocol, but it's only one way in which throughout history people have had interactions with UFOs. And CE-5 has a specific protocol that again is specific, and it's one of many ways in which the Free Foundation, or the Edgar Mitchell Foundation, calls contact modalities. And these are all different ways, or it's a broad spectrum in which people have contact or interactions with non-human intelligence. So CE-5 was put together by Dr. Stephen Greer, and it's a very concise method, and it took something that was abstract as far as contact with UFO intelligence and neatly packaged it in a research and development approach, or at least in the beginning that's how it was. And people go out for field work and use the protocol and apparently have interactions with UFOs. So I can say from personal experience, I've been in the field now for about 10 years, with experiences before that which led me to the work, to CE-5 field work. But CE-5 is undeniably legitimate in that there's a cause and effect. And I would argue most definitely that it's much more effective than simply sky watching. So I want to put that out there. And it's not a random event. So people go out and sky watch, and their odds of seeing something may be 1 out of 1,000. Whereas if people are attempting CE-5, the odds, depending on their level of experience, skill, and knack, and natural ability to do this kind of work, maybe 1 in 5 or 1 in 2 that they'll go out and have an encounter or a sighting or an interaction, whatever you would like to call it. So right here I'm going to show you some brief examples of what a CE-5, in my opinion, a legitimate CE-5 field work encounter looks like.
And then this happens. Watch its movement. Look at the angle it turns. I'm not a satellite, I'm not an aircraft. And it dematerializes. Now, meanwhile, we're having a...
Okay, thank you. Welcome back. Now I'm going to show you another clip of Sixo Paswells, who formed a group named Rama, who was doing UFO contact work back in the 1970s.
El registró también luces de diversos colores y movimientos erráticos. Para Sixto Paz, una demostración de que el contacto existe.
De que ese contacto está vigente y que el mensaje es real, un mensaje de alternativa y de esperanza para este mundo.
José Grey, Noticias 23, esta noche.
Venga, por favor, venga. Mire, hágame caso y vamos allá, por favor. Hacia allá, ve usted. Por favor.
So as you can see, these are not anything that are satellites or flares. The alleged UFOs in the videos seem to be intelligently guided and moving in ways that is not any kind of conventional aircraft or weather phenomena. So I just wanted to put that out there. And now getting deeper into, is CE-5 legitimate? You'd think in 2019 that everybody would know that. But unfortunately, CE-5 has been stigmatized within the UFO community, just as the UFO community has been stigmatized to the mainstream for so long. And even though mainstream UFO researchers will touch abductions and go into all that kind of thing, and even mainstream or very well-known and respected researchers such as Jacques Vallée talks about the psychic consciousness connection between with UFO experiences. You would think it's apparent that this kind of thing is possible or even likely. Even the ATIP study and Bigelow studies were looking at the involvement of consciousness with UFO encounters or UAP encounters. So these are things to keep in mind. Unfortunately, I would probably say that the greatest stigma and reason that CE-5 has been kind of undermined and overlooked in the mainstream UFO community is due to Dr. Stephen Greer himself. And because it's associated with Dr. Greer and people don't want to lend him any credibility or credence, they don't want to touch CE-5 with a 10-foot pole. So because some of these people who will not publicly acknowledge it have been out to the contact and the desert events and seen things with the night vision. They'll talk about it on radio shows, but they won't just come out and acknowledge the legitimacy of CE-5, even though we have A, B, and C saying, yeah, we know about UFO encounters. Yes, we know UFO encounters have a psychic or consciousness connection, but they won't take that next step and say, oh, well, yeah, the contact can be initiated. So, yes, CE-5 is completely legitimate. It is for real. You can go out and do CE-5. I'm not recommending that everybody go out and do it if they don't feel comfortable doing so, but I think that CE-5 is an incredibly important aspect to the UFO field, especially where we're going now, where things are really speeding up. I think this is going to be an incredibly important aspect going forward, because if you can initiate an encounter or an experience with a UFO or a UFO intelligence, that's an incredible way to study, engage, and experiment as research and development of UAP study. Even Jacques Vallée in his book Messengers of Deception had a quote, which I'll leave here in an infographic, that said, I think it's time that we directly interact with the intelligence behind UFOs, or something to that effect. So I think it's incredibly important. I think that people should start taking CE-5 very seriously, because it's going to be, I think, something that's going to help evolve the field. CE-5 has been kind of stigmatized because it's so cutting edge. So I just wanted to explore that idea with you guys. I think everybody here should look into CE-5. Detach, if you're not into Dr. Stephen Greer and his work, just detach that aspect from it. Look at the work, look at the credible stuff. There's other people who are doing CE-5 like work. and who talk about contact modalities, so you can look into their work as well. But it most definitely should not be undermined. So thank you so much for listening, guys. If you appreciate this kind of stuff, I would appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.